welcome to another episode of Todd's Italian Kitchen, etc. Today, we're going to be making you some eggplant parmesan. Let's get right into it, shall we? The first thing that I always start with is my breadcrumbs. Okay, I usually start with plain breadcrumbs, and from there, I season them to my liking. We're going to start off with a little Italian seasoning. Okay, maybe a lot of Italian seasoning. We're going to add a little bit of basil. And we're going to add some grated cheese. To that, I'm going to add a couple turns of pepper, a little bit of salt, and then I'm going to give this some good mixing, making sure that it's all combined. You may have to take your fork a little bit and crush out some of the cheese, but make sure that it's all combined. When that's all said and done, I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to take my eggs. We're going to crack the eggs. Now, I'm only doing a few pieces of eggplant right now. I've done some previously. Doing it this way for YouTube, for you guys, you'll be able to see my process, but you'll also be able to see how I'm cooking it, and then you'll be able to see the end results. So, I have one egg in my bowl. I'm going to give just that little stir. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of milk, one little crush of salt, usually 2 or 3 grinds of pepper. Get that all combined. Now, to make our dollar stretch a little bit more, I'm just going to come over, hit it with a little bit of water. Okay? Now, I use the American eggplant. There's over 100 different varieties of eggplant. I'm going to be using the American purple eggplant. Okay? I've already sliced everything up. I'll take this out for you. All sliced and ready to go. Let me get this. Let me get my plate for you. Right over here. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the eggplant in the egg wash. And then we will transfer it over to the breadcrumbs. Now, doing this, you want to remember, you're not eating breading, you're eating eggplant. So, you're only doing a very thin layer on your eggplant of the breadcrumbs. Okay, so let's get this all taken care of for you. Now, I can remember doing this with not only my mother, but my grandmother. And let me tell you, that takes me back. Definitely. I love doing it. Big family Sunday dinners at my grandmother's house and at our house growing up. This was always a production, especially what my mom used to do this with all of my brothers and myself, and it would be like a small assembly line. She would have one of us doing the breading, one of us cutting up the eggplant, one of us doing the egg, one of us helping her fry. It was a big production, but when you have all those kids to feed, I guess you have a lot of help in the kitchen, a lot of sous chefs. Okay, so we'll get this all done here for you. And we're going to go over and we're going to fry this up. Okay. That done. And just like that. And then here we go. We have some nicely breaded eggplant, very light on the breading. So let's come over here. I got some oil. Now I'm using vegetable oil. Okay, and we're going to put this right in to the oil. Now I have this on a medium to high heat for my oil. Okay, and you want to remember, you're not cooking the eggplant now. what you're doing is you are just browning the breadcrumbs, okay? And this is gonna be about a minute to about a minute and a half on each side, depending on how thick your eggplant. You can cut it very thin, you can cut it very thick. This is about 1/8. So we have that all frying up. Over here, I have my sauce going. Now that's gonna be a show all in itself, because this sauce takes a very long time to cook. Okay, it's a recipe that's been handed down from my grandmother to my mother to myself. Okay, so we have that all set and ready to go. And the oil's pretty hot right now, and these are pretty thin, so these are turning nice and lightly browned right here. So, I walk in and zoom in. You see them? Good. Okay. Now, I already have some done. Okay. Now, everybody does this differently. This is how I've always done it. This is how my mother has shown me to do it. So, it's got to be the right way. All right. Get that right there. The last two pieces. Get that. All right. Perfect. Now what I've got to do this one is a small baking dish. I'm going to fill this up with sauce for my base layer while those two are cooking. Okay. I'm going to bring this over here. Okay. Sauce. And get it here. Now, can you still see me? Okay. Let's do a quick wash here. Gotta have the mopine. Always gotta have the mopine at hand. Okay. While those two are cooking, I'm gonna start assembling. Now, I always start with a little bit of sauce and my bigger pieces on the bottom. Okay. Good, very good. All right, next, I'm gonna do another layer of sauce. Oh. Now, to that, I've got some shredded mutts, some Parmesan, and Italian blended cheeses. Okay, do that, and then on top of that, I always sprinkle just a little bit more grated cheese. And then I repeat. So, another layer of eggplant. And let me tell you, just the smell of this right now is bringing me right back home. I love this. This is one of my favorite meals. This eggplant parmesan and Connie's chicken. Connie being my grandmother, that is a meal that I'm sure if it wasn't for what's going on right now, once I posted that video, I bet you half my family from up north would be flying down to Connecticut to get some of Connie's chicken. So, we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle some more cheese, because let's face it, you can never have enough cheese. Okay, and then we're gonna do another row of eggplant. Okay, and my last two will be coming out, so let me go grab them. Okay, get them right on top. Okay, some more cheese. Definitely some more sauce. Okay, let's get that all mixed up here. Side. And I'm going to finish it off. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of grated cheese. Now I have my oven set at 400 degrees. And I'm going to put this in the oven for about 30, 35 minutes, just depending on how tender the eggplant is. Now remember, when we fried, we didn't cook the eggplant, we just added a nice coating to it. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and through the magic of YouTube, I can put this in the oven, and I can take out eggplant parmesan. Okay. Thank you very much for taking the time and spending your time with me. If you liked what you saw, please give the video a big thumbs up. Feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to see. Always hit the bell to subscribe. And if you'd like to become one of my Patreon supporters and support our channel, there's a link below in the description. Once again, thank you for watching my channel, and remember, always to manjera.